All right, as promised, I wanted to take a look at some of the problems from the posted exam review. These are being drawn based on the folks who responded to my feedback survey that I posted in Moodle. So, for both of you, I appreciate that you took the time to, take a look and decide stuff that you wanted me to take a look at. So, I left it anonymous, so I can't give any individual person credit. But again, it's appreciated. All right. So, looking over the list of problems that came up there, oddly enough, the first two problems on the review packet were things that folks wanted to take a look at. So, uh, anyway, so the first problem asks us to solve an inequality and then sketch our result on a number line. So, let me go ahead and get this written up first. All right. So we have 4 times the quantity x minus 2 is less than or equal to 2x plus 1. All right. So usual algebra routine at this point, we need to get all of our variable terms on one side of the inequality, our non-variable terms on the other. But before that, I'm going to have to distribute this 4. So both guys inside the parentheses get multiplied by 4. So we have 4x minus 8 is less than or equal to 2x plus 1. All right. From here, there's technically a couple of different ways I could proceed. So on the one hand, I want all my x terms on one side. I'm going to subtract 2x. For some reason, x seems to feel more comfortable on the left-hand side of these things. So I got that. So that takes care of that fella. On the other side, I've got this plus 8. I need to get rid of that. So I'm just going to write the plus 8 in the back. Hopefully you get the idea. So those two cancel. Remember, whatever we do to one side, we got to do to the other. This will come up again in the next couple of examples. All right. So now, 4x minus 2x gives me 2x. Less than or equal to 1 plus 8 is 9. All right. So the last thing we've got to do to get x by itself, we've got to divide both sides of our equation by this coefficient. X is less than or equal to 9 halves. All right. So there's what our solution would look like algebraically. Do remember, if this had been a negative 2x, when I do that division, remember dividing inequalities by negative numbers or multiplying by negative numbers, if that ends up being something you need to do, would have flipped the inequality symbol around. That wasn't an issue for the way I did it, but just in case you'd subtracted 4x and had a negative 2x on this side, keep that in mind. All right. Now, as far as the number line goes, I'll draw in my thing on the bottom here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's, so negative 2, 2, 4. 9 halves is 4.5, so technically I need to extend this a bit more here. So, 5 would be sitting right there. 9 halves, that spot right there. I would want a filled in dot. I'm actually going to do it above the number line rather than trying to trace it over. So, halfway between 4 and 5. And if you have things arranged with the variable on the left like this, the inequality symbol kind of points in the direction you need to sort of project backward. So this time around, the point tells me I want to go that way. So when you're doing this in WebAssign, you can place a dot on the on the number line, and then tell it to fill in the region to the left. So that should take care of that for you. All right. So that's problem 1. Like I said, problem 2, which is kind of related to it, is another question folks wanted to take a look at. So give me a moment to clear this off, and then we'll take a look. Okay, so in this instance, this is another one of those application type problems where we're trying to figure out when it's a better deal to board our pet at one kennel versus another. So what I'm going to do is build up algebra expressions that describe how much it costs us to keep our dog at kennel A for X days. Same thing for kennel B. So kennel A charges us $34 per day, but there's no flat fee. So if he's there for X days, that would look like 34X. At kennel B, we pay less per day, only $29 per day, plus a flat fee of $50 that we pay whether it's one day, whether it's 40. Seems weird to send your dog away to a kennel for 40 days, but whatever. All right. So now the question that we're being asked is, for how many days is it cheaper to go with kennel A? So we want this to be a better deal than this. So I like to do this using an inequality, which kind of ties into what we just did. So cheaper in this instance means we don't want them to be equal to each other. I've noticed when we did this kind of thing back at the beginning of the semester, a lot of folks would just write this as an equation, and then they just say x equals a number at the end, and that's not really an accurate representation of what's going on here. Inequality does the job better because we want A to be strictly cheaper. All right. So same thing that we saw in that last example. Let's subtract 29x from both sides. And that gives me 34x minus 29x is 5x. My apologies for the jagged smash cut there. My son walked into the room looking for something and he wasn't going to stop. So anyway, so 34x minus 29x, I subtract that, that gives me 5x, needs to be less than 50. So last thing we need to do, divide both sides by 5. Since it's positive, we don't need to flip the inequality. So x is less than 10 days. If you were to write this out, like as a sentence, it would be 9 or fewer or less than 10. Please don't say for x equals 10. They're cheaper. So yeah, so that's that guy right there. As I recall on the first test, that ends up throwing a lot of folks where they just write it as an equation. And then they're like, well, I found the x value. The catch is you're not actually answering the question. You just solve for x. So, all right, so those are the first two problems. The next one is still algebra related, but it comes from a few chapters later on down the line. So bear with me, I gotta clean this again. Okay, so up next, someone requested that I take a look at problem 16. So problem 16 comes in two parts. I'm going to look at part B because the process that you use to solve part B works just as well for part A, and part B is the trickier of the two in terms of how you would need to deal with it. So anyway, we're given an equation and we're asked to solve it for x. 7 minus 8 to the 2x equals 5. Now the catch here is where the x is living. It's up in an exponent, so the tricks we used last time don't completely work. They mostly work, but so remember, our tool for getting variables out of exponents throughout chapter 5 and stuff we were doing when we were talking about chapter 6 with the finance calculations was to apply a logarithm. But before we can apply that logarithm, we have to get this exponential thing by itself. So to get the exponential piece by its lonesome, I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. That kills that off. I'd have 5 minus 7 over here. Then I've got a negative in front of that 8 to the 2x. It's not negative 8 to the 2x, really. It is a subtraction. I'm going to get rid of the minus because it throws, even if you try to do it, would throw things off. So if we do that, we have 8 to the 2x, 5 minus 7, that thing divided by -1. Okay, and if you work out the arithmetic here, you're going to get positive 2. Okay, so now that the exponential is by itself, we can apply a logarithm. So I like to use the natural log. You could use the base 10, I guess, but like I said, all the examples you've seen me using, I do ln. So ln of 8 to the 2x equals ln of 2. I left way more space than I really need, but hopefully at this point you get the idea of those properties of logarithms that we hammered on about in chapter 5. I can take this 2x, he hops out front as a coefficient. So 2x ln times the natural log of 8 equals the natural log of 2. This is a number, a weird number. This is a number, kind of a weird number too. We can get x by itself, long story short. So x is going to be ln of 2. We divide, like I said, if you do this in two separate calculations, it's fine. So if you've done ln of 2 divided by ln of 8 and then divided by 2 after that, you'd end up in the same place. So when you work out that, I got, I think it says accurate to 4 decimal places, so 0.1667. when you work that out. So, all right. So that's that. So at this point, we've looked at 3 of the problems that came up. There are a couple more, some that I'm going to use the board for, and then a couple that I want to reference electronically. So so we'll go ahead and deal with the calculator Desmos stuff in just a sec. So keep on watching.